Welcome to the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Thursday, May 12th. As a note, this will be our last smoke dispersion briefing, as we will be transitioning to our fire potential briefing starting next Monday, and we will continue issuing those Monday through Friday until later in May, when we will go 7 days. So again, this will be our last smoke dispersion briefing, and on Monday we will transition to the fire potential briefing. So for the last 7 to 14 days, you can see precipitation pattern hasn't changed much for the Great Basin, showing any precipitation over the northern half of the region with very dry conditions over the southern half of the region. Most areas, or some areas of Idaho into far northeast Nevada, have seen above normal precipitation in the last couple weeks. Other areas have just seen lighter amounts down into northern Nevada and northern Utah. Over the last 72 hours, we had a very cold storm system move through the Great Basin, and it did bring new snowfall to the higher terrain of the northern half of the region, and even some lower elevations saw some light snowfall and even some light accumulations. The snow depth is indicated on the right, and you can see from the snowpack still across Idaho and Wyoming, we are continuing with that near normal or even just above normal in some areas for the snowpack for this time of the year. Further south, we continue to lose the snowpack over the southern half of the region, and across much of Utah and Nevada, the snowpack is either below normal or well below normal. The satellite loop from this morning shows that storm system that moved through the region over the last few days is now moving into the northern Rockies. We do have another area of low pressure off the west coast, so we will keep some zonal westerly flow with impulses bringing clouds and occasional showers to mainly the northern areas of the Great Basin across Idaho and Wyoming over the next several days. We will see warming conditions, however, over the Great Basin here through the weekend, where temperatures will increase to about 10 degrees above normal. The storm pattern for today, as you can see, that moisture continues to track north across Idaho and Wyoming, so some light shower activity there with dry and warm conditions down south. We will see some breezy winds over mainly the northern half of the region, keeping dispersion higher. Those winds will be gusting generally in the 30s. We will see some gusts in the 40s for eastern Idaho into Wyoming and northern Utah. Mixing heights will remain high across the region. On Friday, that first impulse exits and we have another impulse moving in, so still some unsettled weather in the north with dry and warm conditions in the south and continued breezy westerly winds, keeping dispersion higher over the northern areas. Winds will be similar tomorrow to what we'll see today, especially across eastern Idaho and Wyoming into northern Utah with gusts in the 30s and 40s. We will see those winds decrease a little bit further west across Nevada, but still continuing to be breezy with most gusts in the 20s. Mixing heights, again, will remain high. As we move into Saturday, you can start to see a little bit more ridging of high pressure over the southern half of the Great Basin, and we'll continue to see some clouds, maybe a few showers in the far north, but generally temperatures warming to above normal. We'll see highs reaching the 70s and even 80s over parts of the lower elevations of northern Nevada and northern Utah. Dispersion will remain good over parts of the north and eastern areas of the Great Basin, and that's where our winds will be the breeziest. So gusts generally in the 30s, still over eastern Idaho and Wyoming, but decreasing further west and south under that ridge. Mixing heights will remain high. The clearing indices over the next few days, with the generally breezy winds, clearing indices will remain relatively high across most of Utah. Some exceptions will be over parts of southwest and western Utah, where winds will not be quite as breezy, and over the southern part of the state under that ridge. The forecast amounts of precipitation for the next few days are shown here, and you can see precipitation obviously up north, mainly in the higher terrain of Idaho and Wyoming, with any showers in the lower elevations fairly light, and again some lighter precip even into the northern Utah mountains. As we move through the weekend, that ridge amplifies across the west, so we will see those warming temperatures. We'll see high temperatures in the 80s, even reach north up into Idaho, but still some weak disturbances moving in out ahead of a larger trough off the west coast. So we will still keep some unsettled weather over northern areas of the Great Basin. Could even see a few showers or thunderstorms pop up across western Nevada as well, but they would be fairly isolated. Dispersion will still remain good with some breezy southwest winds out ahead of that trough, especially over western areas of the Great Basin, with lighter winds over eastern areas. As we move into Monday, we still have, again, that weak upper level feature moving through, so some unsettled weather in the north, but any shower activity would likely be fairly light. Could see some lightning with some of these storms, and fairly good dispersion again with continued southwest or westerly flow. As we move into Tuesday and Wednesday, a still similar pattern, those storm systems tracking across the north, bringing periods of showers, some cooler temperatures, but still relatively warm across the Great Basin, even going into early next week. Any showers from Sunday through early next week, again fairly light and mostly confined to Idaho and Wyoming. The 8 to 14 day outlook, taking us from May 19th through the 25th, still shows cooler and unsettled weather in the north and drier and warmer conditions continuing in the south. So we will see our fuels continue to dry and cure more rapidly over southern areas of the Great Basin over the next couple of weeks. Areas in the north will likely still be somewhat delayed with that cooler and periods of showery weather across Idaho and Wyoming. So again, things on the fire potential side still fairly quiet up north and will be increasing down south. That concludes our last smoke dispersion webcast for the off season. And again, we will start our fire potential webcast starting on Monday, and we'll issue those Monday through Friday. Have a great day.